Hello, I'm Oliver Colling, and this is the My 70s TV Childhood Quiz. Hello again, and welcome back to the quiz, which is all about UK television in the 1970s. We are the companion podcast to My 70s TV Childhood, which features lots of reminiscences of what it was like to be a child growing up in 70s Britain, and the important role that TV played in our lives back then. If you're new to us, then firstly, where have you been for the last 5 years? And secondly, thank you for choosing to listen. You can find out more about the podcast on our blog at www.my70stvchildhood.com or one of our many social media sites, details of which are in the show notes. I would like to share some very exciting news with you, as we are now live on Instagram. I've been practicing my pouting and posing, and you'll now be able to find our content on yet another social media site. Our content will build up over the next little while, but if you're on Insta, as I believe the kids call it, do take a look. Now, I must begin with an apology. I've had a reasonably good run, but I've made another mistake in a quiz. Thank you to Sally, Ange, John, and many others via email, Daz on YouTube, and countless others via our various other social media platforms for pointing out that the goodies had a top 10 hit with Funky Gibbon in 1975 rather than 1974. Hands up, I admit my guilt, I misread the answer from my answer sheet, so apologies for the confusion. And for those of you who did say 1975, please have another point. Our quiz today follows the usual format. We have 20 questions over 4 rounds to test your 70s trivia knowledge, and as always, it's just for fun. So without further ado, top up your favourite beverage. It's tea again for me this time. Lovely. Grab a pen and paper, and let's begin with round 1. And this is a round called Making a Muppet Out of You, and it's very simple. I'm going to give you the name of a Muppet character, and you have to tell me whether they were in Sesame Street, or The Muppet Show, or both. For example, if I said Kermit the Frog, then he was in both. And there aren't many who were in both. But that's a bit of a clue. Okay, let's play for real. Question 1. Bert and Ernie. Were Bert and Ernie in Sesame Street or The Muppet Show? Question 2. Dr. Teeth. Was Dr. Teeth in Sesame Street or The Muppet Show? Or both? Question 3. Robin the Frog. Was he in Sesame Street, The Muppet Show, or in both? And question 4. Oscar the Grouch. Was he in Sesame Street, The Muppet Show, or both? And finally, question 5. The character Marvin Suggs. Marvin Suggs the Muppet. Was he in Sesame Street, The Muppet Show, or in both? How was that? I suspect it was an all or nothing round for some of you, but at least you could have taken a pretty good guess if you didn't know what the answer was. Now, let's go to round 2, which is our marathon or Fil Rouge round, where we ask questions about subjects we've featured in previous episodes of our podcast. There are now 170 plus episodes in our back catalogue, so a lot for us to choose from. Question 1. The Mr. Men cartoons featured in February 2024. Who was the original narrator of that series? So who is the original narrator of the Mr. Men series? Question 2. Way back in June 2021, we look back at the usually pretty dire programming that we had to put up with on bank holidays. And a regular feature of that was the Harlem Globetrotters, the real ones, not the cartoon, playing at the Empire Pool, Wembley. What was the name of their usual opponents, who kept on coming back for a beating year after year? Question 3. In September this year, we look back at All Creatures Great and Small. Who played James Herriot's wife Helen in the original run of the show? Question 4. Christmas memories were to the fore in December 2020. Which circus regularly appeared on BBC TV and later on ITV on Christmas Day, much to my irritation as I really didn't like circuses? And question 5. In October 2023, we celebrated the life of Brian Cant. As a host of Play School, we had to work with the famous group of toys. Which one of those toys did I, and from listener feedback, many of you find deeply disturbing? So which of the Play School toys did I and many of you find deeply disturbing? And we're halfway through already. Our next round is our famous Spin the Wheel and Name That Tune combo. I will spin our specially constructed Wheel of Fate to choose a year from the 1970s, which will then input into our state-of-the-art AI-powered theme tune generator, which will then produce 5 randomly selected theme tunes from shows first shown on UK TV during that year. Guess the show, you get the point. Alright, let's spin the wheel. And it's landed on 1971. Okay, let me input that into our AI-powered theme tune generator and see what we get. Okay, alright, and let's go with theme tune 1. I know we have had that before in this round, but I love it. So how about something a little trickier? Not sure about that one. How about theme tune 3 then? I can hear brains straining across the whole of podcast land on that one. So how about something a little easier for theme tune 4? And finally, here's a lifeline for anyone desperately needing a point from this round with theme tune 5. And so we're on to our last round already. And this is our TV Times round, where I can ask you anything 70s TV related. Now, are you ready? Then let's play. Question 1. In what year did strike action cause ITV to be off the air for 11 weeks? Question 2. According to Barb Ratings, the most watched TV show of 1971 was a boxing match in March of that year, which was billed as the fight of the century. Who were the 2 fighters involved in that fight of the century? Question 3. In the sitcom Citizen Smith, what was the name of the revolutionary organisation led by Wolfie Smith, played by Robert Lindsay? And question 4. Staying with Citizen Smith for a minute, Peter Vaughan played Mr. Johnson, Wolfie's girlfriend Shirley's father. If you got that. What role did Peter Vaughan play in the sitcom Porridge? And question 5. What was the setting for the sitcom Only When I Laugh? starring James Bolam and Peter Bowles, which was first shown in 1979. And that's it, another 20 questions done and dusted. So before I reveal the answers, let's go back to last time's bonus question. If you remember, I asked you, which 1966 film was banned from being aired on UK TV due to concerns about children copying dangerous behaviour until 1972? And the answer is Batman, the original movie starring Adam West, which wasn't shown by some ITV regions until as late as 1976, can you believe it? Due to concerns that we children would all start leaping out of the windows or something similar. All seems rather innocent given the things that we and children watch today. Anyway, well done if you got that right. This week's bonus is this. Excluding the pilot's initial episode, how many episodes of the Sweeney were produced? And I'm feeling generous, so you can have 3 either way on that. So how many episodes of the Sweeney were produced to 3 either way? If you do know the answer, drop me a line to quiz@my70stvchildhood.com. Right, let's go on to the answers for this time's quiz. Round 1, making a Muppet Out of You. Okay, Muppets 1, Bert and Ernie. They were in Sesame Street. Question 2, Dr. Teeth. Dr. Teeth was a character in the Muppet Show. And if you remember, he was leader of the house band. Question 3, Robin the Frog. Now, Robin the Frog appeared on the Muppet Show, and he was Kermit's nephew, if you remember. Question 4, Oscar the Grouch. Oscar the Grouch was a character on Sesame Street. And question 5, Marvin Suggs, which I think is probably a guess for many of you. Marvin Suggs was a character on the Muppet Show who played the Muppaphone, which, if you do remember that, it involved hitting little Muppet creatures on the head with a big mallet to get them to say ow and playing tunes from their owls. It was funny at the time, anyway. All right, on to round 2. Question 1, the Mr. Men cartoons. Who was the original narrator of the series? And that was Arthur Lowe. Question 2, way back in June 2021, we looked at bank holiday programming and the Harlem Globetrotters. What was the name of their usual opponents who kept coming back year on year for a beating? That was the Washington Generals. Question 3, in All Creatures Great and Small, who played James Herriot's wife Helen in the original run of the show? And that was Carol Drinkwater. In the revival in the 1980s, the role was taken on by Linda Bellingham. Question 4. Which circus regularly appeared on BBC TV and then ITV on Christmas Day? Much to my irritation. That was Billy Smart's circus. And question 5. In Play School, which of the famous group of toys did I, and from your feedback many of you find deeply disturbing? That was Hamble. I think we know where the inspiration for the Chucky movies came from. All right, round 3, name that tune. First tune, I hope most of you got this one. That's Here Come the Double Deckers. If you say Double Deckers, I think you have half a point because the programme was actually called Here Come the Double Deckers with an exclamation mark. Theme tune 2, that was tricky. That was a theme tune to Grasshopper Island, which was a drama about 3 boys who decided to run away to their own island. Theme tune 3, that was a theme tune to Barlow at Large, which was another spin-off from Z-Cars featuring Superintendent Barlow. Theme tune 4 was the tune to the Old Grey Whistle Test. And theme tune 5, which I hope almost all of you got, was the theme tune to Mr. Ben. All right, on to our TV time zone. Which year did strike action cause ITV to be off the air for 11 weeks? It was off the air for 11 weeks in 1979. Question 2. According to Barb Ratings, the most watched TV show of 1971 was a boxing match, The Fight of the Century, and the Fight of the Century was between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. Question 3. In the sitcom Sister Smith, what was the name of the revolutionary organisation led by Wolfie Smith? And that was the Tooting Popular Front, or TPF. And Peter Vaughan, as well as playing Shirley's father in Sister Smith, what role did he play in Porridge? And he was Mr. Grout, or Grouty. And question 5. What was the setting for the sitcom Only When I Laugh, starring James Bolam and Peter Bowles, first shown in 1979? And the setting was a hospital ward. So, how did you get on? Are you going to have trouble getting through the door as your head is so big after such a great score? Or are you burying your head under the covers in shame? Whichever, I do hope you've enjoyed playing, and if you have, then why not tell your friends? We would love them to join us. And a final request from me. If you could take the time to like, rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts, we'd be eternally grateful. We will be back next week with the next of our regular podcasts, and then again in a fortnight with our next quiz. Until then, take care, have fun, and see you again soon for more from My 70s TV Childhood and the My 70s TV Childhood quiz.